How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Torrent, a podcast giving you discussions on music, movies, TV, and video games. I'm your host, Nick, and I'm joined, as always, by Alan and Matt. Guys, what's up?
Hey, how's it going, Nick? Good to be here in person with you guys.
Yeah, the beautiful Washington, D.C. Welcome.
Yes, we are broadcasting all together for the first time in quite a while. I think since maybe the new year or something like that.
Yeah,
it's been a minute.
Yeah,
since the last time I went home.
Yeah.
In New York.
So this is going to be the first of a couple episodes that we're going to do together. Today we're talking all things animated TV shows, kind of give a little homage, I guess, a little tribute to all our favorite animated TV shows and some of our least favorite. But first, you guys want to get into the news?
Yep, let's do it.
This is the weekly download. Our first news story today, guys, we are Overwatch fans, relatively, right?
I still play Overwatch.
Yeah,
I dig that game.
what do you think about Blizzard and Overwatch striking a deal with Disney to have show like pro leagues on like ESPN?
I think it's cool. I like watching games. I think it's pretty neat. I would watch it probably on ESPN, probably more than most of what ESPN is showing now anyway. So I think I support that. What do you think?
Yeah, I am definitely for video games getting exposure on ESPN. I kind of wish it wasn't Overwatch because I don't see it as the best spectator video game to play. I'd rather it be something that's a little bit more simpler to follow or something with a little bit less clutter when there's big team fights.
Yeah,
I think that can be kind of confusing to the layman kind of watching it. But
do you think they should start with like a sport that's a little more, I don't know, sportsy, like say Rocket League?
yeah, I think Rocket League or even
Mario Tennis.
Or Mario Tennis.
Yeah.
Side story: we've been playing a shit ton of Mario Tennis right now, and we're kind of addicted. But but a game like Rocket League, I think, would translate more to sports audiences. I think that would allow them to get into watching professional video games a little bit easier than say like an Overwatch or a League of Legends or something like that.
Yeah, but I mean it's a good stepping stone for the industry. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to some movie news here, guys. Matt, you're a big Metal Gear Solid fan. Yeah. They're making a Metal Gear Solid movie, and the director of the movie said he wants to kind of embrace the weirder sci-fi aspects of the game. So not only is it going to be kind of like your typical stealth spy movie, but it's going to embrace some of the more supernatural elements, the weirder elements that show up in the game, or like the campier elements, I guess. I don't know, whatever the typical Metal Gear motif is. How do you guys feel about them kind of playing up that aspect a little bit?
I don't really like that. That was, I mean, personally, that was always my least favorite part of Metal Gear Solid. I remember like playing the Phantom Pain and just like doing all this cool stuff, like busting out of this base, and then there would be like these like undead soldiers floating like 100 feet up in the air with like glowing eyes, and they were just like, it was just insane. It was just ridiculous. I was just being like, this is just so bizarre to me.
Yeah.
I really don't like that. That's my least favorite part about Metal Gear Solid. So hopefully the stealth kind of stuff, hopefully the wartime kind of stuff is cool, because otherwise I would not like it.
Some of the earlier games they had, so there was what's the main character's name?
Solid Snake.
Solid Snake. Yeah. And then they have another guy that you always see in the promotional images where he's got like a sword or something like that, or is that his brother or something?
No, it's like, I don't know. I think his name is like, they all have like a million names, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Like Gray Snake or something like that.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I'm probably wrong. Anyone who
he's
actually...
like a ninja though, right?
Yeah,
like
he had a different name.
Ninja or
yeah,
something? Okay.
He has a different name in like the first two, I think.
Yeah.
I don't remember him, but...
What if they go kind of that route? Now, I'm not a big Metal Gear fan, so apologies to anybody who's listening, screaming at me, saying I don't know my shit, but like...
Same.
So what do you think if they went that route, like cybernetic ninjas and that like weird aspect and like some weird sciencey stuff, like
weird sciencey stuff is cool, and
yeah.
I think, and I'm sure that is going to be into it, because Metal Gear Solid is like oh my gosh, I hope I'm not wrong on this. I'm pretty sure it's like a mech kind of thing. It was like a big mech that, like in the beginning of the first one, there was like a huge mech that could like go crazy and like maybe launch nukes or something ridiculous that like they're going to make like an army of these types of things.
Type stuff, yeah.
Right. So I'm pretty sure the whole basis of Metal Gear Solid is these mech type things. And if they did that, that'd be cool. I'd be into that. But just like the supernatural sci-fi, like just like the weird magic type of stuff is something I'm not into.
Okay. Cool.
I'm just curious if they're going to get the video game movie trope kind of going, because it seems like every time that happens where there's a video game made into a movie, it just kind of flops. Like I haven't seen a single one yet.
I mean, the last one that came out was Tomb Raider, and that did pretty well critically, and I don't think it did break any box office records, but I mean that franchise is kind of not really that too popular. But I think that was the last one, and I think.
Like the Warcraft movie before that.
Yeah, the Warcraft movie before that did okay. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I think we're gonna get there. It's just a matter of if you just find the right director and they don't. I don't know. Maybe this movie will be it. Maybe you get a little Jason Bourne action, a little ninja action, a little mech action. It would be sweet.
Jason Bourne ninja action.
Yeah.
Wow. Starring our very own Nick here. I don't know.
I guess I got to get working out, guys. Next in movie news. Guys, have you ever seen... Are you fans of Bruce Lee movies?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I have a whole, like, 80s and 90s collection, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Have you ever seen Enter the Dragon? Classic. Mm-hmm. That was his first American film.
It's one that has Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in it, right?
No, that's Return of the Dragon.
Oh, that's Return of the Dragon.
Is the one with Chuck Norris?
No, that's also... No, I'm sorry. The one with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is Game of Death.
That's right.
The one with Chuck Norris is Return of the Dragon. That's where he fights in Rome. But Enter the Dragon was the one...
We don't know what we're talking
about. Which one? Didn't he die in one of these filming one of these movies?
That was the Game of Death.
Oh, that was Game of Death. Okay, yeah.
Well, during the filming. But Enter the Dragon was the one... it's got... I forget the other actor's name. Some famous white guy at the time and another actor. And he enters a tournament... And it's very Mortal Kombat-esque. He enters a tournament in Japan or something like that, or on some island from this rich dude, and he's got to infiltrate the base or whatever. And it became like his most famous movie. But they want to reboot this movie, and it's going to be the director of the Deadpool franchise and stunt coordinator and producer of the John Wick movies. How do you guys feel about this? I have very strong thoughts about this. How do you guys feel about them rebooting a classic like Enter the Dragon?
I guess I'm a little nervous about it because Deadpool is a very like satirical and funny film, whereas Enter the Dragon is pretty serious.
Well, let me put a caveat on it. It was the co-director of Deadpool. It was the guy who was mostly in charge of all the stunts and action.
Oh, okay. So maybe it'll be a little bit more focused on the actual martial art aspect of it and stuff. Okay, yeah. Then that's not too bad. Then that should be kind of interesting.
Matt, how do you feel?
I think it would be pretty awesome, actually. I love reboots. I don't like watching old movies. I really like when they reboot things and do it well.
Okay.
I understand why you might be hesitant and think it might not be a good like true reboot kind of. Yeah. But I'm excited for it.
I am tentative on this. I think unless you I mean, it's Bruce Lee. He's uber famous. Like everyone knows who Bruce Lee is, and you're gonna reboot one of his most profitable movies in America. I think if you're going to do that, you better damn well do it right, and you better get good actors and good martial artists in this movie. And I've been happy with David Leitch, or however you pronounce his last name. What he did with John Wick and all the fight scenes in John Wick. Even the action and the martial arts and stuff, all that stuff in Deadpool was cool. So I think he could do a really cool version of it, but it better be done well, I guess, or else don't even do it at all. You know what I mean?
It's big shoes to fill.
No, it really is. It really is. So I guess we'll see.
Yeah. Maybe we can get Nick to.
And definitely don't make it a comedy. You know what I mean? Like don't make it funny for don't like 21 Jump Street, like that was a drama TV series, and they rebooted it as a comedy. Like this.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
That is not the time to reboot a movie. You know, don't reboot Enter the Dragon as a comedy, like a martial arts comedy. Like that's just like like
Rush Hour.
That would cut me deep. Just make something completely different. Yeah, I love Rush Hour.
Chris
but like
Rock
just,
in there.
Yeah, Chris Tucker, you mean?
Or Chris Tucker. That's who it was. You're right.
Yeah. So, some more trailers from San Diego Comic-Con a while back that we haven't gotten to yet, but I want to hear your reactions. Godzilla, King of Monsters. Are you guys big, like, monster movie fans, Godzilla fans, like, you know, disaster movie stuff?
Yeah, I actually, growing up, my grandpa used to always play Godzilla movies, so I've seen, like, the Godzilla originals, Godzilla versus the...
Like the claymation ones or whatever, like stop motion stuff? Wow, that's crazy.
People, like, running from the toy Godzilla, yeah.
Oh my god.
I used to watch all those growing up.
So what do you think of this new trailer, then?
I think it looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like the actors that they have in it. They have that girl from Stranger Things.
Yeah.
11.
Millie Bobby Brown.
Millie Bobby Brown.
Looks like they had, I think his name's Kyle Chandler from the One Football Show, Friday Night Lights or whatever.
Yeah. I think it looks really cool. I think the cinematography in it and just they make it a much darker film. I like that they're bringing in another monster that Godzilla's probably going to fight, because that's very traditional Godzilla where he gets distracted.
Like Mothra in there. Like there's a couple shots of Mothra, and
some kind of flying.
There's some flying beast with 3 heads. I don't know what that one is. Was it
Ghidorah? I'm pretty sure it's called.
Oh really?
Like King Ghidorah or something like that.
Oh wow, cool. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. So
yeah,
definitely interested.
Nice.
I think it looks awesome too. I think it's gonna be pretty badass. I hope that there's like a spot where 11 or whatever her name in the show is in the movie like falls and gets like a single stream nosebleed, and then just like gets up and stares right at the camera, and everyone's just like, "Oh, 11, she's back!" I think that'd be
how old are you, child?
Ridiculous.
11. Wink.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, 17.
Yeah. Little Stranger Things Godzilla crossover
all throughout the movie.
Now it'll be interesting because they came out with a King Kong movie. I don't know, a couple of years ago. Do you remember that? Skull Island or whatever, one with Loki from the Avengers or whatever.
Oh, what was the one that had
and Sam Jackson
Jack Black in it?
No, that was way back. That was Peter
long.
Jackson's. Yeah.
Okay.
But they had came out with the King Kong movie. I don't know, 2016 or something like that. And there was rumors. Oh, okay, nice, Matt. Yeah, it is Ghidorah or whatever. Nice. They had come out with rumors that eventually they're going to converge the Godzilla and King Kong universes, and so they would fight each other in a movie. What would you guys think about that?
I mean, apparently, I really would like to see that. I couldn't even hold back my enthusiasm. That sounds sweet.
Yeah, that does sound cool.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it'd be pretty.
I mean, big monsters fighting are cool. I haven't seen a lot of movies like that, but
yeah,
I think I'd like it.
Yeah,
can't get more epic than that, right?
Yeah. Next, Glass. We just watched the trailer all together. What did you guys think about the Glass trailer?
Can you give a breakdown of this again?
Yeah, so for those who aren't familiar, I mean, the movie's been out a little bit, so it's not really if you stumble upon the Glass trailer, it's not really a spoiler to say that the movie Unbreakable by M. Night Shyamalan from the 90s and Split from 2016, 2015, something like that, are in the same universe. So this is like the sequel to both of those movies. So Bruce Willis's character, I guess, is super strong. He discovers he's got like super strength or something like that. And Sam Jackson's character has very breakable bones, very brittle bones, but he's hyper intelligent. And then you have the character. What's the character's name in Split? Do we know his actual name?
Well, no, the like super crazy strong one is called the Beast.
Oh, so. Right, because he's got split personalities, so he's got all his different. One of his personalities is the Beast.
Yeah, that's probably what the main action will be focused on in this new one.
Right, okay. But what'd you guys think of? The trailer for it?
I really liked. I really like that. I really like this type of superhero. I guess I would consider it like a superhero kind of like genre, because like superheroes aren't all over the world like in Infinity War kind of, and it's like sort of low key right now. And the way it sounds like they're going at it, the Doctor kind of thinks that these guys think they have superpowers.
Yes.
And I think that'd be cool if there's like some weird reality check type thing where like maybe these guys are all just insane and they don't have these powers. Like that would be bizarre.
Wasn't that kind of the thought process of Unbreakable too? Was like Bruce Willis' character just thought he had superpowers?
I've actually never seen Unbreakable.
Okay,
I've
neither have I. So
okay, yeah. I'm not sure, but that's a very cool kind of different superhero-ish route to go, and I think Glass is going to be very neat.
Yeah.
I loved Split. I really liked like the psychology going on in that movie and the multiple personality disorder and that kind of stuff. It was so interesting. So
yeah,
very pumped.
Yeah, I definitely want to watch Unbreakable and Split now that seeing this trailer. I think this whole universe looks really cool, and these heroes and even the actors themselves are just really well-known actors.
Yeah,
so.
It seems like good counter-programming to a lot of the superhero movies we're getting now. So if you still kind of want that flavor but something different, that would be a way to go. Same thing with like content like Watchmen, like just like anti-superhero kind of thing, just like a realistic, look at if superheroes were in our world or whatever. So yeah.
I like that.
All right, last on for movie news here, guys. So Alan, we've talked that the DC universe, cinematic universe, is not doing so hot.
I mean,
Wonder Woman was okay.
Yeah.
Batman vs Superman was divisive. Justice League, I think, sucked. Man of Steel was okay. I liked Man of Steel quite a bit, but we haven't got a Superman sequel yet. So now, I'm not really sure what they're doing because their Suicide Squad also was okay.
Wow.
I don't know what DC's doing right now, but they're releasing all these new movies that are coming out that which may or may not be in canon with the main storyline. And so we've already got Jared Leto's version of the Joker in Suicide Squad. But now they're making this new version of a Joker movie, a Joker origin story, starring Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker. And Robert De Niro just signed on for the movie also, so I think they could really focus on the Joker's origin and make it more of a gangster film, a la like a Scorsese film, but about the Joker. How do you guys feel about them doing another Joker movie that's not in canon with what the Joker we've already seen, so close to each other?
I think it might end up being good for the universe, just because I think when they did like the Dark Knight series, kind of had a nice spin off on like normal Batman type movies that you see.
Yep.
And those come out really good. So if they follow kind of a similar suit with that with the Joker, I think it'd actually be really interesting to watch. Where it's a little bit of a darker side, a little more realistic. The actors are a little more serious and more dramatic with their roles.
Yeah.
I think it might be decent. So
okay.
I think in Suicide Squad that just the Joker wasn't as serious of a character and
right. Too out there.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I would like to see Joaquin Phoenix play Joker. I think that'd be pretty cool. I really like Joaquin Phoenix, and he's done some pretty dynamic roles throughout his life, so I think it'd be cool.
Yeah, for sure. Let's just compare, I guess. Inevitably, people are going to compare the DC universe and the Marvel universe. But, do you think that maybe this is the route DC should go, is just do standalone films and then kind of interconnect when they want to, and instead of trying to make this overarching canon piece, like the MCU does, where everything's connected? Do you think it would serve them better to just focus on one character at a time, do their own separate universes, and then maybe just give little hints that maybe they are connected but never really cross over too much?
It's hard to say because it works so well for MCU, but
I know.
It just doesn't seem to be working for DC. So maybe it would be good to just follow a different formula and not try and mimic Marvel as much.
Do you think Marvel just caught lightning in a bottle kind of thing? Like not everyone can do it, but the power of Disney, just because it's Disney, they can.
Yeah,
I agree. I think DC should do something different, just because what they're doing isn't working. So
right.
if they.
But then again, they're also coming out with Aquaman and Shazam, which we reviewed the trailers on, and those look pretty good. So they could turn their canon stuff around, unless they want, and they're already dominating TV. I mean, they have, 5 or 6 superhero shows on the CW as it is right now, and they're doing well. So, or they're doing okay.
Yeah, I think something different would be good for them. I'm excited to see how it turns out.
Yeah, me too. All right, finally, Fallout Miami, a mod to Fallout 4. We just watched the trailer for it. Looks very interesting. You get the little... It kind of gave you a Dead Island vibe, I guess.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even connect that.
And a little bit of a Bioshock vibe, I think, in some of the shots. What'd you guys think of Fallout Miami trailer?
I think it looked cool. It's a new location. And it's pretty neat. I think if you really like Fallout 4, you're gonna like this. Mm-hmm. If you didn't care, I mean, I used to really like Fallout. I'm not really into it right now. I don't think it's gonna have much for people like me to get me into it. I just think it's gonna be more of the same, which is good. It's a good game, but just not for me, probably.
Yeah, I think Matt said it perfectly. It's gonna be great for the people who are fans of the series, and for people who are kind of new to Fallout. Probably not your first game you want to start with, but definitely looks like there's going to be some cool new mutants in this, and some different kind of aspects of the game that will give the current fans something fresh.
So. Yeah, I think in terms of Bethesda games, all three of us have more leaned towards the Elder Scrolls side of things as opposed to the Fallout side of things. Yep. So we'll probably be really talking a lot about whatever the next Elder Scrolls game that's going to be released. I think there was a small tease, but they really didn't give us much, so there's really nothing to talk about there. But
yeah, I don't think it's supposed to come out for almost a year or two.
Yeah, so. It's going to be a while, but I think all three of us would be more hyped for that one for sure.
Yeah.
Have you guys played the Elder Scrolls Online?
No, but I kind of want to just to pick it up a little bit.
So we all like Elder Scrolls. Why haven't we tried that?
I don't know.
It's for PlayStation.
Is it really?
Yeah, it is for PlayStation. That could be a next PlayStation game. I don't know. Let's do some research. I don't know how many. I don't know too much about the game. I don't know if there's a lot of paywalls or all that stuff. I know you have to pay $20 to start playing it, but I don't know. I don't know if there's, if it's a play to win type of game or if it's just really we can just explore and get a bunch of cool armor and stuff. But
we'll do some research.
Yeah, we should definitely check it out.
Stay tuned for our verdict on that.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to some music picks here. Finally, first one up. I totally forgot about this song, and I just stumbled across it because I think I had a daily mix on Spotify, and it came up, and I go, oh my god, I love this song. I forgot about it. It's "Talking Bodies" by Tove Lo, and this one specifically is the Young Professionals remix. The Young Professionals threw a bunch of trap beats behind the original song and just made it bump, and it's incredible, and I love it. And Tove Lo, I remember seeing her before she blew up at one of our local concerts back home, and with our buddies from Joywave, they're with her, and I remember saying oh wow, she's like this band's kind of cool. They got a really good lot of catchy stuff, and then she just exploded. Now she's suddenly become a hypersexual in all her stuff now. And
what?
Yeah, it's crazy, but
wow,
her songs are still really catchy, and "Talking Bodies" is just it's a good song.
Yeah, definitely a great artist. I think she has some features on some of I forget the artist. I forget the artist now. I've mentioned
an electronic artist or
Flume.
Oh, Flume.
She's been featured on some Flume songs.
Okay, cool.
That have been really good. So
nice.
Yeah, Flume is awesome. I love Flume. So very cool. All right, Alan.
Next up, I have the song "Freesol" by 7 Lions featuring Skyler Stonestreet. This is actually a song that Matt would more likely be to recommend.
Really?
It's a much more chiller vibe.
Oh,
nice electronic song. So
I will check this out right after this.
Definitely a cool song to listen to. Got a good feel, got a good flow to it. So
yeah, nice.
Cool. All right. Well, my song probably goes along well with that also. Mine is called 100%, and it's by Boycrush, who has a song called "Flirt," which is I think I must have talked about it.
Oh yeah.
I love that song. It's a little I don't know, what is that, synth kind of thing, like glide kind of like that.
Oh yeah.
What is that called? That genre, the synth kind of synth pop kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's that kind of this song isn't that kind of vibe. This is just kind of a chill, cool driving summer song. I feel like I'm having a lot of summer songs during the summer months, so I'm happy about that. But this is definitely a good one. Driving with the song is really badass, and will probably go 20 over speed limit, so be careful, drive safely. And those are our music picks.
Nice. Yeah, you were playing that before we started the cast.
And,
it was good.
Yeah, it's just real solid hit.
Yeah. Great. Nice picks, guys. Well, as always, if you want to get in touch with us, you can find us at The Torrent Podcast on Twitter and Facebook, and thetorrentpodcast@gmail.com. Don't forget, we are also on YouTube now. Our videos are up on YouTube, and we are also on Spotify and Apple Music, so make sure you follow and subscribe. And then also, In addition, we seem to be getting more and more stuff each week. You can also find us on our Twitch stream. If you just search for the Torrent Podcast on Twitch, we usually be playing some Divinity Original Sin 2. If we get on Elder Scrolls Online, we might be streaming some of that.
Yeah.
And then finally, we have our merchandise store at TeePublic. Go to teepublic.com/stores/the-torrent-podcast. Yes, Matt, I am going to get the URL fixed, hopefully. Some of you have been buying our merchandise. Thank you very much for those of you who've been purchasing them. We have our Torrent Podcast logo t-shirts. We have the BB Shot System. We have the Mead Fest shirts. We have the Stranger Things t-shirts and our Hot Crochet t-shirts. You can get it all right there. All right, guys. Let's get into the main topic today, which is animated TV shows. So, you know, we're all 90s kids. We kind of grew up in the 90s, and we, I think, arguably have had some of the best experiences of anybody's lifetime right now. Just the combination of technology getting better and people getting way more creative, and we've gotten some of the, you know, as far as right now, we've got some of the best animated TV shows, I think, of all time, just in that small 10-year window from 1990 to 2000. And then even beyond, we've gotten some great stuff. But we've been very fortunate in our lifetime to kind of be on the up and coming when these pieces of entertainment come out. So, you know, now that everything kind of went mainstream, we've gotten, like I said, a bunch of new concepts that have like left lasting memories on us. And, you know, there's so many subgenres within the animated shows. I mean, let's just break it down for a second here, guys. Like we'll start with 90s Nickelodeon, like classic. I'm talking like Hey Arnold, Doug, Rugrats, yeah. What else?
Rocko's Modern Life.
Rocko's Modern Life, yeah. Like
Angry Beavers.
Angry Beavers, yes, all that stuff.
Friends.
Then you
was
got
that 90s or was that 2000s?
I think it had to be.
No, I think it was late 90s, mid to late 90s.
Because all those shows that we watched in elementary school, like, were in the 90s. So I just feel like anytime we think of like a classic Nickelodeon show, it must be the 90s, right?
Yeah. And then you got the Cartoon Network flavor. I mean, you got Powerpuff Girls, you got Dexter's Laboratory, you got you know, what else?
Samurai Jack?
Samurai Jack, yeah. And then you got, like, the Toonami.
We also, Ed, Ed, and Eddie?
Ed, Ed, and Eddie, yes. Oh, yeah. And then you kind of had the Toonami, which brought some of the Japanese animated shows over. I think they showed a lot of the Dragon Ball Zs and some of the other animated shows, like Voltron, or, you know, and then what
was that one that was the Zoids? Do you remember Zoids?
Zoids? That's the one that had like tigers or whatever.
Yeah. They were like mech tigers and they had morph into things. That was cool.
I watched that.
I never saw that.
That was good.
That sounds sweet.
Then we kind of had like the Adult Swim flavor, which had like Aqua Teen Hunger Force and all that class of shows.
It also had a lot of really cool Japanese stuff on it too. Like they had Yu Yu Hakusho was on there, and what was that other
Naruto?
Yeah, Naruto was on there.
Right.
Yeah, there was a couple others I remember just kind of introduced me to that genre. I think the first time I'd watched it was on Adult Swim.
Yeah. So then we kind of moved into, even, let's stick in the 90s for a second. We had like the slew of 90s animated superhero shows. I mean, you had Batman the Animated Series, Superman the Animated Series, Spider-Man the Animated Series, the X-Men Animated Series, the original one was awesome.
And Justice League, right?
They had like that's more in the 2000s, but Justice League, Justice League Unlimited, like all that stuff. And then you had you got the whole slew of like Fox run, like The Simpsons and Family Guy and American Dad, and you got all those shows. You know what I mean? And then you know, and then you get into 2000s Nickelodeon, you get into SpongeBob, you get into Fairly Odd Parents, you get into all those, you know, all that craziness. And then not to mention all the Japanese shows that we got, like Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon and Beyblade and all those crazy ass shows. Yeah. We've had quite a run of animated shows here in the States that we've gotten to watch. So let's just kind of talk about some of you guys want to start with the worst or the best?
Let's do the worst first.
All right.
Which I might add, by the way, I feel like all shows now, all cartoons are almost the worst because they're just so like rapid fire, nonstop, like music, explosion, fart, weird joke, someone getting slapped in the face.
Yeah.
It's just like it's just like ridiculous.
Do you think that's just smart? I mean, do you think from their perspective though, it's a smart marketing thing because kids have such low attention spans?
Definitely.
They just need to like joke, commercial break, next thing, joke to joke. You know what I mean? Like they don't have time to build any story or have any nuance or anything. You know what I mean? Because kids aren't going to watch it.
Right. I mean, I'll get to this in a bit, but I just recently bought the full series of Hey Arnold. And I'm rewatching it now. We can watch it actually. I'm rewatching it now, and there's just like a lot of just like messages and like deeper messages, but that it's like kind of chill, and there's like music playing sometimes, and the dialogue is kind of more like real dialogue and stuff. Okay. It's not like, which I also love, SpongeBob.
Yeah.
SpongeBob though now is just like nonstop talking fast. All this stuff happening, people doing crazy stuff, especially the later episodes of SpongeBob.
Way more physical comedy as opposed to
definitely.
Like actual
and just
jokes
like
or anything.
ADHD fueled and just like nonstop adrenaline craziness.
Yep.
Now, do you think it's just because I've seen some cartoons recently, like Adventure Time, that still has some decent messages that they like give to kids. Do you think it's more just as a whole, cartoons have kind of shifted to this more fast paced?
Yeah,
like,
I mean, it's
a majority of that and less kind of what it was in the 90s.
Yeah, there's going to be exceptions, obviously, but I think in general, I think Matt's right. I think most cartoons now are just very quick, joke, or just all out like just gross humor, you know what I mean, that kind of stuff.
Because we even had that in the 90s, like you'd had shows like Our Real Monsters, which didn't have any message.
Ren and Stimpy,
Rocko's Modern Life. Pinky and the Brain.
That's a good point. I also don't watch a lot of animated shows now, but when I do, like Phineas and Ferb, I think seems like a pretty good show, and I had a lot of students that liked that. So I guess I should watch more and really see.
Some of that could be just bias on our part because we were younger when we watched them.
We're like, wow, nothing's as good as when we grew up.
That a little bit, or we think the shows might be deeper than we actually think they are.
Yeah, and like maybe the ones now are like we're just kind of only seeing the negative kind of aspects of it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, like the actual
Adventure Time. I'm glad you brought that up. Is I think a unique show that started off being goofy and crazy and fast and like insane, and then it started to have these like weirder, deeper, like kind of more mature themes going on in that. So I think that's a bit of a unique show. But I also think it's easy to think back to obviously Hey Arnold, which had so many messages, and Doug, which had some good messages and stuff too. And maybe these shows now have that, and we're just not really paying
How do you guys feel about like a popular show right now is Rick and Morty? Like everyone's always talking about Rick and Morty. How do you guys feel about that kind of show?
I mean, I like that. It's kind of like the adult animated cartoon kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't watch a lot of Rick and Morty, and I think I would really like it. I bet it has I bet it's got deeper messages than it seems. I mean, I would hope. I don't know.
Some episodes do, others don't.
It's like, so popular. I just thought it would have to. Like Archer, I love Archer. Don't think there are deeper messages there. Though.
No, Archer's just
it's very superficial.
I would.
You're right. Well, actually, you know what, Matt? Sorry to cut you off there. You're right. There's a whole other genre of animated that we haven't even touched on. That's kind of the adult stuff. And
I love that.
Family Guy dips into that a little bit with the Fox stuff, but all those Archer.
What's that show? Big Mouth
on Netflix.
That show is freaking hilarious.
Really?
You guys should really watch that. It's so goddamn funny.
Okay.
I mean, you sort of touched on it with like the Fox programming kind of started that, right? Because The Simpsons and Family Guy are really, American Dad are really geared towards older people.
For sure.
Or those teenagers. So.
That is a different genre.
Yeah.
I guess it's hard. I guess we shouldn't really just say like one genre in particular, or be like, well, I guess I shouldn't say shows now are very like fast and aren't deep at all. Like maybe they are. I mean, I don't want to judge a whole genre because
yeah.
But yeah. Wow, that was interesting.
But anyway, let's refocus here a little bit. Yeah. So let's start with kind of the worst of animated shows. So, Alan, we'll start with you here. Just give us like your least favorite animated show
from the 90s.
Or from
from anything.
Any of the
just
categories I
growing up,
listed.
I guess,
growing up, yeah.
Okay.
I think this is actually definitely a very good show, but for me, Courage the Cowardly Dog was absolutely terrifying. I would remember just flipping through channels and being like, all right, nothing's on Nickelodeon, nothing's on like ESPN, and I go to Cartoon Network and I'd be like, oh, Courage the Cowardly Dog's on it, and I would sit down and like try and watch it and just be so creeped out and so terrified that I would just be like, why is there not anything else on that I can watch? And I'd just sit through it and suffer through it and then have nightmares about it. And
isn't the whole show like I don't know if allegory is the right word, but it's like about depression, right?
I think there was some,
is it?
I think
was
so.
Some kind of like deep breakdown that they had from it. There's something like that,
yeah.
Or like some kind of mental illness type of thing.
We're gonna have to watch like a breakdown video after this. That would be crazy. That I agree, Alan. I actually liked that show though, but there were some like creepy freaking ass monsters or whatever, like just like characters that would come out of nowhere, just have like a crazy like deadpan mask and just like be standing there and be creepy as hell. And Courage would have to like try and figure out what the hell's going on. And, like his parents were stupid, and just that show was insane.
There was even ones where like things would come and take over like the minds of his parents, and so like they would turn on him, and he would be like fighting them off because they had some brain-eating amoeba or something going on. It was like terrifying because you're like, oh, something could just come and take over my parents, and they're gonna start to try to kill me. It was just terrifying. But I guess that kind of plays into the mental illness thing because that's a form of paranoia there. So.
I hope that is actually true because that would be so interesting, and I would actually go back and rewatch those episodes now with like a different meaning. So cool.
There's another show like Courage. Was it Bill and Mandy or something like that with the
Billy and Mandy? The Grim Reaper?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Is that I don't
know if that's what it's called. I think it's the Grim Adventures of something.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I don't know. I never watched too much of that, but
I did. But I don't remember. For me, I mean, also I was a kid.
In my head, I put them on the same style
I don't think it was
of animated
as dark,
show.
But it was a similar style.
Billy had like intellectual disability or something. And Mandy was like depressed. I don't know. I don't know if that show had that same level of that, but that's interesting. I'm gonna look into that. That's cool. All right, Nick, what was yours?
Mine was Cat Dog. Oh. I fucking hate Cat Dog.
I agree. That show sucks.
The rat neighbor or whatever. Or whoever lived in their house, Winslow. He was kind of funny sometimes, but mostly a dick other times. But that was on purpose. That's how his character was written. But I feel like every episode was just like, Cat Dog don't agree on something. They don't become friends, and then by the end of the episode they're friends again, and then rinse and repeat. And it was just I don't know. It never caught on for me. I didn't like it.
The whole show is called Cat Dog, and it's about a dog that's literally like a Siamese twin to a cat, and they have no.
I think the only reason why that show got popular was because the theme song was so dang catchy.
I was about to say I love the theme song for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
But everything else.
That's good. I did hate that show.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
How did it poop?
That's what I mean. Like it doesn't make sense. And I know it's a cartoon; it doesn't have to make sense. But it's just, I don't know. I wasn't into it.
There must be an episode where they address that, or like at least it comes up and
pukes up a little turd or something like that. Like.
Oh, I bet you they did. They probably snuck something in there like that.
Or somebody said something and they just like brush by it, didn't acknowledge it.
Yeah.
Wow, that's funny.
Nice. How about you, Matt?
All right, mine was Pinky and the Brain. I never watched this show very much, but because I hated it. But I don't know. I just thought it was so boring. I just thought Pinky was so dumb and the Brain was so like rude and just arrogant and. Maybe he was smart. I don't know. It was just them trying to escape a laboratory. I'm pretty sure the whole time.
Yeah.
Every time I watch it, I would watch anything. I would watch non-cartoons just to not watch this show. I just remember like
Judge Judy.
Yeah, I would probably be like, Dad, you could just have the remote, and then we'd watch The People's Court for a couple hours instead of watching. Yeah. So yeah, I hated Pinky and the Brain. So that's my least favorite.
Wow. And there's some other bad one. I mean, there's a ton
I didn't
of
like Animaniacs either. I don't even remember like what the gist of that show was. It was just weird.
I mean, I
didn't like it at least.
I'm very indifferent about that one. Like I couldn't say if I didn't like it or like it, but
yeah, it was kind of hit or miss. So.
Yeah.
Alan, you said you didn't like Real Monsters, right?
Yeah, I think it was on the same line of Courage the Cowardly Dog. Where...
Oh, but that show was way not as scary. That show was more like upbeat. But I mean, even without being scary, it wasn't that great. I watched it though, but
yeah.
That's fine.
Cool.
Should we talk about our
let's talk about our favorites now. I guess the other side of the coin here.
All right.
So Alan, we'll start back at you again.
Oh, okay. My absolute all-time favorite growing up was the Powerpuff Girls.
Sugar.
Spice.
And everything nice.
These secret... Okay,
we need to remove that from the...
No,
who didn't watch that show, though? I mean...
that was the thing. Like, I was so ashamed to be such a huge fan of it because I thought it was, like, a girls' show. Like,
no, I don't think it was.
I think, like, everyone watched it, but I remember, like, my dad would come in the room and I'd flip over to, like, Comedy Central or something because I was like, I'm not watching Powerpuff Girls.
Porn.
Dad, I'm watching porn, Dad.
No, I'm not watching Powerpuff Girls, I swear. But, like, I was so ashamed to be watching that, but I loved it. I remember coming home, like, right after school. It was always on at, like, 3:30 or something like that. Before my parents got home, I could just throw on Powerpuff Girls, just be myself and just watch the show. And I think it was so good, so rich.
They kind of, they really got the superhero aspect of the show. I mean, you know what I mean? Like the girls had superpowers, so like, and they had like cool villains or whatever.
Yeah, I think that's what I loved most about it was the villains were so good. Like
Mojo
Jojo was so funny. Him was super creepy.
Him was like the scariest thing to me. That is just such a ridiculously like intricate character with like it looks like a dude, but he wears like feminine clothes and he sounds kind of like this androgynous type of like echoey voice. So scary. Oh my gosh.
I remember there was like a roach boy and stuff too who could control like cockroaches. That was super intense.
And the Gangrene Gang?
The Gangrene Gang, yes. They just had such good villains in
That's
that.
A good point. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah, so definitely my number
nice.
one.
Good pick. That's a good one.
What about you, Nick?
I had the Batman animated series. I think I've kind of rewatched a little bit of this series as an adult, and I think there's a lot that holds up. I mean, some of the episodes are just really good and a deep dive into like the psyche of a superhero and just like some strong issues. It surprised me. I think it was one of those things where they hit a lot within an animated show, and it's got an awesome theme song, and I think the animation style was really cool, and just some of the stuff they were able to do and tie it in to the Batman universe is really cool. The Batman animated series is awesome.
And like Robin was in this, right?
I think it's in the later episodes. I think they added Robin in there, and you got Mark Hamill as the voice of the Joker, and you got
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you got a bunch of different cool voice actors in there, and Kevin Conroy is like he's the voice of Batman, and it's like it's legendary. Like you hear his voice, and you're like, oh shit, he's the guy. It's the same voice as the Batman Arkham games is actually supposed to be a continuation of the animated show.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah. So like they brought all of the voice actors they could back. So like Hamill did Joker in the video games, and Conroy did Batman in the video games also, and yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't picture Mark Hamill doing that. The voice.
Yeah, you should watch videos. It's pretty creepy.
It sounds very different.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have guessed that. That's awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, Batman animated series for sure. Definitely one of the best.
Nice. Okay, so my final pick is Hey Arnold. I think Hey Arnold is funny and like interesting with like good storylines, and also has really good messages. I really think now, especially, it's a show that kids could probably still watch and get into. I thought that also about Doug, but Doug is very accessible to like middle class people in small towns.
Okay.
If you're in a middle class town, you can watch Doug and be like, yeah, I get this. Yeah, oh my gosh. But it's like very first world problem-y, and Hey Arnold is just like all different types of people, all different types of problems.
Well, they're in New York City, so
yeah. So it's like it is inner city, but it's also just like it's stuff that anyone could get behind and be like, yeah, oh my gosh, that is like a big issue. That's pretty intense.
That was one of the first instances I think I've ever seen in a show do the whole like, oh, this person likes you, so they're gonna be mean to you.
Yeah. It's like, you know what I mean? It explores like such great, and the characters are so like interesting. Like Helga obviously is like an antagonist, but she's also like really deep and has like motives. Yeah. And her family's all messed up, so that's why. And Harold is like the bully, but he's like their friend. He's just like the fat insecure kid. Yeah. And so I just think the characters are really cool, and I thought that show is definitely still relatable. I think if they put it on TV, I bet people would still watch it. So yeah.
Yeah, I love the depth of the characters and that there's so much to the kids there, and you have so many different aspects of personalities there. It is,
and they're all
I never realized that.
Yeah, they're all vulnerable at different times, and it's just really interesting. And I just think it's cool for kids to see that, and then there's the whole thing with like Helga liking Arnold, and then the whole thing with Arnold's parents, which gets kind of heavy because they do end up answering that later, but it gets really like emotional, and I love that show, and it's funny, and it's also light and easy to watch, so. Yeah, I think that show is great.
Nice, guys. And we did. I mean, just in talking, I think I missed a couple of shows that I think are very popular that we didn't touch on. I mean, we didn't even get into any of the daytime kid shows like Blue's Clues and Dora the Explorer and all that stuff, and
Little Bill.
Little Bill. Oh, man, Little Bill.
Now that you mentioned it, was endorsed by Bill Cosby.
Yeah, that one doesn't hold up so well, but maybe that's the worst one.
Were there some deeper issues in that show that we overlooked?
But, I mean, we didn't even talk about the Wild Thornberrys.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I never loved that show. I remember crying at the movie, so that was cool.
Oh, okay. I don't remember the movie at all.
Yeah. Did you see the movie?
No. Why'd you cry?
It was really touching. It was about like forests. What's the word? Like against
conservation.
Yeah, conservation. It was against like deforestation and poaching. There was a big poaching thing.
Oh yeah.
It was really sad, and that's what they were trying to do, like tug at your heartstrings about that and be aware of that. And man, I was like, dang,
wow,
that's really sad. So
we didn't even get into rocket power either.
Oh yeah.
It was okay.
I was a little indifferent.
Okay.
I mean, it was good.
Yeah, it was unique.
Yeah,
I still mention it, and everyone does the wiggity wiggity
yeah,
wiggity still.
Yeah.
Like 90s kids always do that. 90s kids also do the Hey Arnold, like the thumb.
Oh, I forgot about
handshake thing.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
We should start calling people shoobies again.
I call myself a shoobie all the time.
Oh, really?
I wear shoes on the beach a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I do that too.
Oh, I never do that at the beach. I do that like when I come home from golf.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just wear sandals with socks on. Everyone makes fun of me at golf, but hey,
yeah.
that's what you gotta do, man. Do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
At least they're not white socks, right? Like
the long one,
like
wearing your Gucci sandal, your Gucci slides with the tall white socks on the beach.
All right, guys, nice.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts here, or you guys good?
No, I'm glad. Adventure Time is like the show I'm watching all the way through now, because it starts off as like being episodic. That means like every episode is different, or is like not contingent, right?
They're standalone.
Each episode in Adventure Time is episodic in the beginning, and there eventually becomes overarching themes, and it becomes deeper. And there's one episode where like, well, I won't get into it, but like that's a show I just wanted to shout out. I think Adventure Time is really gets really deep. So
nice.
Yeah, I think a good takeaway we had just from this is that there's a lot of different types of animated shows out there, and you could be if you have kids, they could be watching something that's very good and has a lot of value, or it could be something really random, and maybe it's just a matter of sitting down, watching the cartoon your kid's watching, and making sure you agree with it. So
yeah, for sure. And to all the streaming services, put more 90s animated shows on your streaming service, because I think there's a whole group of people who would want to watch a ton of those.
That is true.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So nice, guys. So we're gonna be back, I think,
periodically.
Periodically. We don't have anything slated in terms of an official topic, but you should be seeing some new episodes coming from us. We got some off scripted, not that our show is scripted, but like just kind of off the cuff episodes coming up where
after dark, would you say?
Yeah, after dark, kind of electric boogaloo-ish, kind of freeform episodes, open conversation. So you're gonna find something like that on our podcast feed coming up. So we'll be back with that. This has been an episode of The Torrent. We'll see you next time. Well, that's it for this episode of The Torrent. Thank you all for listening. Download, rate, and subscribe to the podcast on your favorite podcast service. If you want to get in contact with us, feel free to send us an email, thetorrentpodcast@gmail.com. You can also get in touch with us on Facebook and Twitter @TheTorrentPod. We'll see you guys next time.